the squirrel man, trying to defend Madvocate. And there are many complications, but we don't really need to get into that because Shandy just was not listening and completely blatantly misrepresented Birdman, which, whatever you think of him, he was fairly clear on.
The first glaring issue with this is the number of future Strange saw. 14,605,000 sounds like a huge number, but put up against infinity, it is infinitely small.
Well, considering that he looked through 14 million plus realities in the span of what we can highball to be a couple of hours, it's remarkably impressive he managed to make it through so many, considering that just one of those possibilities spanned the entirety of 5 years plus a fair bit of time travel as well. So how many of those features did he have to view in real time before he came to one where the Avengers actually won?
Well, again, just because you're against hard rules does not mean you're against any rules. The Birdman is fine with rules being soft and being amended. However, he's not saying anything goes. In fact, he said the complete opposite.
This is one of the problems I have with CinemaSins, that they pass off nitpicking as a legitimate form of critique when a film isn't trying to answer every little question they may have. Because if they were, they would have. And then he goes on a long, irrelevant tangent about magic in video games attacking the straw man that I said magic doesn't need rules. What I actually said is that magic couldn't adhere to rules because it is not real. I'm clearly speaking from the perspective of the audience. In universe, there are clearly rules. I think we all can agree that in Pokemon, Squirtle's ability to shoot an amount of water that is obviously beyond the volume of its body from its mouth is mystical in nature. In the MCU, Doctor Strange can't shoot water from his mouth in the same way Squirtle can. At least I hope not. That's clearly a limitation on his ability in universe, aka a rule.
I think what he's missing, and I mean Shandy, is the Birdman is an atheist. He's making some metaphysical points as well as points of continuity within the MCU and other franchises. In other words, humans make these rules about magic which does not exist. And this is where the EFAP and ECOM and other people like SK scream, "Ah, ah, ah." But it still remains true. It's a piece of fiction. We're left with it being a piece of fiction. We can criticize it, but we're still left with the thing which we can't get out of is it will always remain a piece of fiction. We have to deal with that.
Personalities are not invariable, nor are they permanent. There are many instances where we as people can change our outlook on life. Perhaps we become happier, or maybe we get disproportionately more depressed. There is no real way of knowing where we will end up, but as someone who has been on both sides of the spectrum, I can tell you they are tremendously different. I also